Hi, I'm Flea. I'm here today in the Nonesuch closet. I'm very happy to be here today, surrounded by all kinds of great music. And I'm gonna go in here, grab a few records that I selected as being ones that I've listened to a lot, that really touch me. And I'm just gonna go on and do it. I hear it in the air. I feel it in the air. Who's your neighbor? Who's your friend? I'm going with this Górecki. It starts off and it's like you put it on and it's dead silent. And then you start to hear this, what I think is a boatload of upright basses and cellos playing this real low sound. And it just like leaks into the pores of who you are and starts to fill you up. And it's like, man, it's so beautiful. It just creeps in on you. And it's about the Holocaust. It's 3 movements. The second one was based on a quote that this woman who had been imprisoned during the Holocaust, it's a Polish woman, and she was put in a jail cell, and she had, amongst lots of graffiti by prisoners in the jail cell, she said, "Oh mama, do not cry for me, no. Immaculate Queen in heaven, always support me." So it's a beautiful prayer. And the record, this music is a prayer, like all good music is. And it starts so minimal, and maybe it's because it's like that, it was easier for me to understand than music that might be have much more information and be more ornate and have much more like contrapuntal shit going on, all this stuff. There's a simplicity in the unison playing of it and the harmony. The way it grows and the way it moves and the sentiment of it just fills me up and makes me want to be better, and it's so good. It will live on much longer than us, and it will be an important thing in the world, whatever happens with it. Sticking out here, it's a Jeff Parker record. I just made a record myself, and I don't mean to promote my own shit when I'm talking about other people's music, but one of the reasons that my record is what it is, and a huge reason, is this record, because outside of the drummer on this record, Jay Belleros, I was fortunate enough when I asked Jeff Parker and Anna Butters and Josh Johnson to be a part of my record. They agreed, and the reason that I knew to ask them was because of this record, because I heard them on this record. And I was so absolutely blown away by the communication that they have on this record, like within the structures that Jeff created for them to improvise within, is this connection that is so sensitive and profound and serving of music as a whole. I think especially for musicians as good as these, who are able to play just about anything because they're such virtuosos, for them to only play something when they have something to say takes, a selflessness and an egolessness that is, everything that I hope for in music. It's a beacon, for kids that want to improvise and play together. Listen to this shit, because this will teach you of what it is, When they want to go off and get busy, they do it. When they want to play the simplest thing and imply everything with one simple note, it's all there and you can feel it. When this record came out in 1981, a friend of mine, he was the first person we knew at his own apartment. And we're always at his house listening to music all night long, like it was just a thing. We're going over to Scood's, shout out to Scood, Dondi Bestone, who's since become a great music supervisor. From a young age, had an incredible recollection. We were always listening to Eric Dolphy and jazz and punk rock and everything new that came out. And one day he put on this record. And I just couldn't believe it. It was the first time I understood what sampling was. Like, we didn't know, and it's not even really sampling. There's all these different audio recordings that he took and put over these rhythm tracks, or put rhythm tracks under. I don't know what came first. He has this Baptist preacher, and he has this groove underneath it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 and then this Lebanese mountain singer girl starts singing the Jezebel Spirit. I can't remember the names of the songs, but as a bass player, the repetitive, hypnotic nature of these bass lines just changed me forever. Because before that, it's like I wanted to be in Jimi Hendrix Experience, This record specifically influenced my idea of rhythm and the way that bass and drums and melody work together and how I could be of value. Seriously, like a fundamental pillar of who I am as a musician, this record right here. I mean, I already was like, I'm gonna play music, I don't give a fuck what happens to me. You know, I'm not gonna like leave a trail of cookies behind, like I'm just going in. So, but this really made me feel like there's nothing that can stop me from being myself and doing something. This record fucking blows me away. I'm always looking to have feelings from other cultures, something that's always been in me since I was a kid. I grew up loving to read, and I read about other places and other things. I read my ass off every day. And I'm always like, what is it like? What was it like in the time that this book was written? Or what was it like in the place where this book was written? And when I hear music, it's the same thing, imagining them in the studio, imagining how they're talking to each other, what they're wearing, what does it smell like, what are they smoking, what are they doing, who are they? And when I hear this record, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm being let in to another culture and another time, and I want to be a part of it. I want to know. I want to feel it. I want to hear it. And I'm, very uneducated about choirs and Eastern European choirs and all this stuff, but makes me feel like I listen to this record. It does to me what Jimi Hendrix does to me, what Miles does to me. It's just beautiful. It puts me in a trance. Okay, for my next record, as I look in here, and there's a lot of good music in here. There's a lot of good music in here. There's some Ry Cooder. There's some Philip Glass, there's some Beethoven, there's a lot of music in here. João Gilberto. I am gonna select, as a trumpet player who's always working on his trumpet playing, I have to bow down. Ambrose Akinmusire is my favorite living trumpet player. When I hear him play, it's just, the top. It's the technical part of it. It's like when I hear Clifford Brown, like technically it's just like mind-boggling. But him of this time, the way, and on this record, like the way he used the string arrangements, the grooves, everything has this super angular, just like cuts through the air in this way that just devastates me. It just feels like someone in his deep knowledge of his instrument and his music is a knowledge of self, and that he's really wanting to know himself, to express what he knows himself, and to go deeper and deeper to understand himself as who he is, of his culture, of who he is in the world, and how he relates to the world. And I feel like that's like an exploration for all of us in different ways that we can understand in wanting to know who we are, why we are, to deepen our relationship to our work and our expression in the world by knowing ourselves and by learning to love ourselves. I will never reach the brilliance that Ambrose has on his trumpet, but I can aspire to have a voice as distinct as his with the abilities that I do have. That's the gift that he has given to me and given to all of us. So I'm in awe of Ambrose and so grateful for this record that he made.